let me ask you something. Have you ever dreamed of taking control of your financial future? Of waking up every day knowing you're building something that belongs to you, not working to make someone else rich? Starting a small business, whether it's selling online or providing a service, is one of the most powerful ways to do that. It's about creating opportunities, not waiting for them.
It's about taking your skills, your passions, your ideas, and turning them into something real, something that can provide for your family, pay off your debt, or fund your future dreams.
But here's the thing. It's not just about the money. It's about freedom. The freedom to call the shots, to set your own schedule, to decide how much you're worth. And let me tell you, that kind of freedom is priceless. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but Dave, I don't have the time, the money, or the experience to start a business. Let me stop you right there. You don't need to be a millionaire or a genius to start a small business. You just need to be willing to take that first step. And guess what? Most successful entrepreneurs didn't start with all the answers. They started with an idea and the determination to figure it out as they went. They didn't let fear hold them back, and you shouldn't either. Starting a business isn't about having it all together on day one. It's about starting where you are and growing from there. So why should you start your own business? Because it's one of the best ways to take control of your income. Think about it. When you're working for someone else, you're limited by their rules, their pay scale, their opportunities.
You can only go as far as they let you. But when you run your own business, the ceiling disappears. You decide how much effort you're willing to put in, and you reap the rewards. Sure, it's not easy. It takes work, sacrifice, and a whole lot of grit. But the payoff can be life-changing. And I'm not just talking about financial rewards. I'm talking about the pride of knowing you built something with your own two hands. That's a kind of fulfillment you can't buy.
Let me tell you what starting a small business doesn't mean. It doesn't mean you have to quit your job tomorrow, take out a massive loan, or rent a fancy office. That's a recipe for stress, not success. A small business can start as just that, small. Maybe it's selling handmade products on Etsy or flipping items on eBay. Maybe it's offering freelance services like graphic design, writing, or coaching. Maybe it's turning a hobby you love into something that pays the bills. Whatever it is, you don't need to start big to start strong.
You just need to start strong.
You just need to start.
And here's the good news. With the internet, the barriers to entry are lower than ever.
You don't need a storefront or a huge marketing budget. You just need an idea, a plan, and the willingness to put yourself out there. But let me give you a little reality check. Starting a business isn't a get rich quick scheme. If you're looking for overnight success, you're in the wrong place. Building a business takes time, effort, and patience. You're going to have to put in the work, and there will be challenges along the way. But here's the thing. Every successful business owner you admire started exactly where you are at the beginning. They didn't let the fear of failure stop them, and neither should you. Failure isn't the end. It's part of the process. Every mistake you make is a lesson, and every lesson brings you closer to success. So why start your own small business? Because it's one of the most empowering things you can do. It's a chance to take control of your financial future, to build something meaningful, and to create a legacy for yourself and your family. It's about proving to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever imagined. And let me tell you, there's no better time to start than right now. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because it doesn't exist.
Start where you are with what you have and take that first step. Your future is waiting. Go build it. Let's get to work.
Let me tell you something. The foundation of every great business is a great idea. But here's the truth. You don't have to reinvent the wheel or come up with the next big tech innovation to start a successful small business. Most of the time, the best ideas are sitting right under your nose, waiting for you to notice them. The question is, what will you sell? And the answer starts with you. What are you good at? What are you passionate about? What problems can you solve? These aren't just questions. They're the key to unlocking a business idea that's uniquely yours. Because at the end of the day, people don't just buy products or services. They buy solutions to their problems. And if you can provide that, you've got yourself a business. Start by asking yourself this. What do people already come to me for? Maybe you're great at baking and your friends can't get enough of your cookies. Maybe you've got a knack for fixing things and everyone in your neighborhood calls you when something breaks. Maybe you're a natural organizer and your family is always asking you to help them declutter their homes. These are your strengths and they're a gold mine for business ideas. Your skills, talents, and passions are what set you apart from the competition. The trick is to find a way to turn them into something people are willing to pay for.
But here's the kicker. It's not just about what you want to sell. It's about what people want to buy. That means you've got to do your homework. Who are your potential customers? What do they need? What are their pain points? Don't assume you know. Ask them. Talk to people. Do some research and figure out where the demand is. Because no matter how much you love your idea, if no one's interested in buying it, you don't have a business. You have a hobby. And while hobbies are great, they don't pay the bills. Your idea needs to solve a real problem or meet a real need. That's what turns a passion project into a profit.
Now, let's get practical. Maybe you've already got an idea, but you're not sure if it's the right one. Or maybe you're completely stuck and don't know where to start. Either way, here's a simple exercise. Grab a piece of paper and make 2 lists. On one side, write down all the things you're good at, your skills, talents, and experiences. On the other side, write down problems you've noticed in your community, industry, or even your own life. Then look for connections between the 2 lists. That's where your best ideas are hiding. For example, if you're great at graphic design and you notice that local businesses struggle with marketing, you could start a business creating social media content for small companies.
If you love gardening and you see that people are buying more houseplants than ever, you could start selling potted plants or offering plant care workshops. The possibilities are endless. You just have to connect the dots.
But here's something else to keep in mind. Your first idea doesn't have to be perfect. Too many people get stuck in analysis paralysis, waiting for the perfect idea to strike before they take action. Don't let that be you. Start with what you have tested and be willing to adapt. Business is a journey, not a destination. Your idea will evolve over time as you learn more about your customers and the market, and that's okay. The important thing is to start. Remember, you can't steer a parked car. Take that first step and you'll figure out the rest along the way. One last thing. Don't underestimate the power of your story. Whatever you decide to sell, people want to know the why behind it. Why are you passionate about this? Why are you the right person to solve this problem? Your story is what connects you to your customers and sets you apart from the competition. It's what makes your business personal, relatable, and authentic. So don't be afraid to share it. Whether it's through your website, social media, or conversations with potential customers, let people know why you do what you do. Because at the end of the day, people don't just buy products. They buy into people, and that's where the real magic happens. So what will you sell? The answer is already inside you. You just have to uncover it. Take some time to reflect, research, and connect the dots. Don't overthink it, but don't rush it either.
The right idea will come when you focus on solving problems and serving people. And once you've found it, commit to it with everything you've got. Because when you combine your passion skills and a real need in the market, you're not just starting a business. You're starting something that matters. Let's make it happen.
Let me tell you something that could save you a world of stress. You don't need to start big to start strong. Too many people think they need a huge budget, a fancy website, and a warehouse full of inventory to launch a business. They see those shiny success stories on social media and think, I need to have it all together from day one. Let me stop you right there. Starting big doesn't guarantee success. It guarantees risk. And when you're piling on debt just to get your business off the ground, you're setting yourself up for failure before you've even begun. The truth is, the best businesses don't start with loans, credit cards, or investors. They start with hustle, creativity, and a commitment to staying out of debt. Here's the deal. Debt is a thief. It steals your freedom, your options, and your ability to make smart decisions. When you're borrowing money to fund your business, you're putting yourself in a position where every decision is driven by the need to repay that debt. You can't pivot. You can't take risks, and you can't invest in opportunities because you're too busy covering your monthly payments. That's not how you build a business. That's how you build a trap. So let me make this clear. If you can't afford to pay for it in cash, you're not ready for it. Start small, start scrappy, and build your business as you go. What does starting small look like? It looks like using what you already have. Maybe you've got a skill, a talent, or a product you can create without spending a dime. Maybe you can work out of your home instead of renting an office. Maybe you can use free or low-cost platforms like Etsy, eBay, or Facebook Marketplace to start selling your products. The point is, you don't need all the bells and whistles to get started.
Focus on the essentials. Getting your product or service in front of your first customers. That's it. Everything else can come later.
And let's talk about inventory, because this is where a lot of new business owners get into trouble. They think they need to buy in bulk, stockpile inventory, or invest in a ton of supplies before they've even made their first sale.
Don't do it. Start small. Test the waters. See what sells and what doesn't before you commit to a large order. If you're selling products, consider starting with a small batch or even pre-orders to gauge demand.
If you're offering a service, start with 1 or 2 clients and refine your process before scaling up. This isn't about being cheap. It's about being sheep. It's about being smart. You're building a business, not gambling on a guess. Now, I know what you're thinking, but Dave, won't starting small slow me down? No, it won't. It'll set you up for sustainable growth. Starting small gives you the freedom to learn, adapt, and improve without the pressure of big expenses or looming debt, and improve without the pressure of big expenses or looming debt. It lets you figure out what works and what doesn't before you go all in. And let me tell you, the lessons you learn in those early days are priceless. They'll shape the way you run your business for years to come. Starting small isn't about limiting yourself. It's about giving yourself room to grow the right way. And here's the best part. When you start small and avoid debt, every dollar you make is yours to keep. You're not handing over your hard-earned money to a bank or a lender. You can reinvest in your business, improve your product, or save for future opportunities. You're building something that belongs to you, not your creditors. And that's the kind of freedom that makes all the hard work worth it. So how do you start small? You start with a budget. Set a clear, realistic budget for what you can afford to spend without borrowing money. Keep your costs as low as possible and prioritize the things that actually move your business forward.
Forget about the fancy office, the expensive software, or the flashy marketing campaign. Focus on serving your first customers and let their feedback guide your next steps. And remember, every dollar matters.
Treat your business finances with the same care and discipline you'd use for your personal budget. Let me leave you with this. Starting small doesn't mean dreaming small. It means being smart, intentional, and disciplined as you build the foundation for something great. Every successful business started with one product, one service, one customer. That's how you start. 2, don't rush the process and don't let debt tempt you into shortcuts. Build slow, build steady, and build strong. Because when you start without debt, you're not just creating a business, you're creating freedom.
And that's a foundation no amount of money can buy. Let's get to work
Let me tell you something about running a successful small business. It doesn't matter how great your product or service is if nobody knows it exists.
Marketing and selling aren't optional. They're the engine that keeps your business running.
Too many entrepreneurs make the mistake of thinking, if I build it, they will come. That's a myth. You could have the best product in the world, but if you're not actively putting it in front of the right people, it's going to sit there collecting dust.
Marketing isn't just about getting attention. It's about connecting with your customers, showing them why your product matters, and giving them a reason to buy. And let me tell you, when you do it right, marketing doesn't feel pushy or salesy. It feels like serving, because that's what it is. Serving people by solving their problems or making their lives better.
So how do you reach your customers? It starts with knowing who they are and where they spend their time. You can't sell to everyone, so don't even try. Focus on your target audience, the people who are most likely to need or want what you're offering.
Who are they? What are their struggles, their desires, their interests? What platforms do they use? If you're selling handmade crafts, your audience might be scrolling through Pinterest or Etsy.
If you're offering fitness coaching, they're probably on Instagram or Facebook. If you're flipping products, they might be searching eBay or Amazon. The point is, you need to meet them where they are. And here's the best part. With today's tools, it's easier than ever to find your customers online without spending a fortune. Once you know where your customers are, it's time to get their attention. And here's the secret. People don't just buy products. They buy stories. They buy connection. They buy connection. They buy trust. You don't need a huge advertising budget to make that happen. You need authenticity. Share the story behind your product or service. Why did you start this business? What makes your product special?
How does it help people?
Your story is your superpower. It's what makes your business unique. Use it to create content that resonates with your audience. Post photos, videos, and testimonials that show how your product works or how it's making a difference.
Show your face, your personality, your passion. People connect with people, not just brands.
And let's talk about the importance of creating value before asking for a sale. If you want people to trust you, you've got to give them a reason to listen. Offer helpful tips, advice, or insights related to your product. For example, if you're selling home decor, share design ideas or dye tutorials. If you're a health coach, post recipes or fitness challenges. Giving value up front builds trust and positions you as an expert in your field. It shows your audience that you're not just here to make a sale. You're here to help. Now, when it comes to selling, don't overcomplicate it. The key is to make it as easy as possible for your customers to buy from you. Have a clear call to action. If you're selling online, make sure your website or storefront is simple and user-friendly.
If you're using social media, include direct links to your products. Respond to messages and questions quickly. People appreciate good communication, and it can make the difference between a sale and a missed opportunity. And here's a big one. Don't be afraid to ask for the sale. A lot of new business owners feel hesitant or awkward about closing the deal, but you've got to get over that. You believe in your product, right?
Then show your customers why it's worth their time and money. And let me remind you, your best marketing tool is word of mouth. When you provide an exceptional experience for your customers, they'll talk about it. They'll recommend you to their friends, share your posts, and leave glowing reviews. Don't underestimate the power of happy customers. They're your biggest advocates. Go above and beyond to serve them. Follow up after a sale to make sure they're satisfied. Address complaints promptly and professionally.
When you treat your customers like gold, they'll reward you with loyalty and referrals. But here's the thing. Marketing and selling aren't one and done activities. They're ongoing. You've got to stay consistent. Show up for your audience regularly. Post content, engage with comments, and keep building those relationships. Marketing isn't about shouting into the void. It's about starting conversations, building trust, and creating a community around your brand. It takes time, effort, and patience, but when you stay consistent, the results will follow.
So here's the bottom line. Marketing and selling are the heartbeat of your business. They're not about manipulation. They're about connection. They're about showing your customers how your product or service can make their lives better.
When you approach marketing with authenticity and a servant's heart, it stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like a privilege. You're not just running a business. You're not just running a business. You're building relationships, solving problems, and making an impact. And that's something worth showing up for every single day. Let's get to work. Your customers are waiting.
Let me say this loud and clear. If you don't track your money will disappear. It doesn't matter how great your product is, how many sales you're making, or how much buzz your business is getting. If you don't know where your dollars are going, you're not running a business. You're running a ticking time bomb.
And when that bomb goes off, it won't be pretty. I've seen too many small businesses fail, not because they didn't have a good idea or a strong work ethic, but because they ignored their finances.
They thought, I'll deal with it later, or it's just a small business. I don't need to keep track of every little thing. But here's the truth. Every dollar matters. And if you want to build a business that lasts, you've got to take control of your money from day one. Tracking your finances isn't complicated, but it does take discipline. First things first, you need to separate your personal and business finances. If you're still using the same bank account for groceries and customer payments, stop it right now. Mixing personal and business finances is a recipe for chaos. Open a dedicated bank account and credit card for your business. This isn't just about staying organized. It's about protecting yourself. When you keep things separate, you're not only making your life easier, but you're also setting yourself up for smoother tax filing and legal protection. Plus, let's be honest.
It feels a lot more professional to say, I'll pay for that out of the business account.
Next, you need to track every single transaction. And I mean every single one. Income, expenses, sales, fees, taxes, log it all. This isn't just busy work. It's the foundation of understanding your business's financial health. You can't fix what you don't see, and tracking your transactions gives you a clear picture of where your money is going. Use a system that works for you. If you're tech savvy, software like QuickBooks, FreshBooks, or Wave can automate a lot of the process. If you prefer old school methods, a simple spreadsheet can do the trick. The tool doesn't matter nearly as much as your consistency. Make it a habit to log your transactions daily or weekly so nothing slips through the cracks.
Now let's talk about expenses, because this is where a lot of small business owners get into trouble. It's easy to think it's just a small expense. I'll make it back. But those small expenses add up fast. Before you know it, you're bleeding money and wondering why your profits are shrinking. This is why categorizing your expenses is so important. Break them down into clear categories like marketing, supplies, shipping, software, and utilities.
Once you start seeing where your money is going, you'll notice patterns, and some of those patterns might surprise you. Maybe you're spending way more on advertising than you thought, or maybe you've been paying for a subscription service you don't even use.
Tracking your expenses isn't about being cheap. It's about being intentional. Every dollar you save on unnecessary spending is a dollar you can reinvest in growing your business.
And let's not forget about income. It's not enough to know how much money you're bringing in. You need to know where it's coming from. Are certain products or services more profitable than others? Are you making more money from repeat customers or new ones? Are there trends in your sales that could help you plan better for the future? Tracking your income gives you these answers. And here's the kicker. When you understand your income streams, you can focus on what's working and cut out what's not. It's not just about making money. It's about making money efficiently. But tracking your finances isn't just about today. It's about planning for tomorrow. That's where budgeting comes in. Every month, sit down and create a budget for your business. Estimate your income, plan your expenses, and set aside money for taxes, emergencies, and reinvestment. Budget isn't restrictive, it's freeing. It gives you a roadmap for how to use your money wisely so you're not scrambling to cover bills or wondering where all your cash went. And let me say this, if you don't budget for taxes, you're setting yourself up for a nasty surprise. Uncle Sam doesn't care if you forgot to set aside money. He wants his cut and he wants it on time. Make it a priority to set aside a percentage of every sale for taxes, and you'll thank yourself come tax season. Finally, use your financial data to make smarter decisions. Your numbers aren't just numbers. They're a story. They tell you what's working, what's not, and where you need to adjust. Review your profit and loss statements every month. Look at your cash flow to make sure you're not spending more than you're bringing in. Check your profit margins to see if you're pricing your products or services correctly. This isn't about micromanaging. It's about understanding the health of your business so you can make informed, confident decisions. Because when you know your numbers, you're not guessing, you're leading.
Here's the bottom line. Tracking your finances is the foundation of running a successful business. It's not glamorous, but it's essential. When you know where every dollar is going, you're not just running a business. You're taking control of it.
And that's how you build something that lasts. So don't put this off. Start today. Set up a system. Stay consistent. And treat every dollar like it matters, because it does.
Let's get to work.
Your future self will thank you. Let me tell you something about running a small business. Success doesn't happen overnight. It's not about getting lucky, hitting it big, or going viral. It's about showing up day after day, putting in the work, and staying focused on your goals. The truth is, building a business isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. And if you're not prepared to pace yourself, you'll burn out long before you cross the finish line. Too many people give up too soon because they're chasing instant results. They see other businesses taking off and think, why isn't that happening for me? But here's what they don't see. The late nights, the hard decisions, the slow, steady progress that built those businesses over time. Success isn't about speed. It's about consistency, discipline, and a commitment to the long haul.
Staying focused means keeping your eyes on your journey, not someone else's. It's so easy to fall into the comparison trap, especially with social media showcasing everyone's highlight reel. You see other businesses with thousands of followers, flashy branding, or big sales numbers, and you start to feel like you're falling behind. But let me remind you, you're not competing with them.
Your only competition is the version of yourself from yesterday. Don't waste your energy comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Instead, focus on what you can do today to move your business forward.
Remember, every big success story started small. Every thriving business was once just an idea. Stay the course, and your time will come.
But staying focused doesn't mean doing everything at once. In fact, it's the opposite. One of the biggest mistakes new entrepreneurs make is trying to tackle too many things at the same time. They want to launch every product, master every platform, and chase every opportunity that comes their way. But let me tell you, spreading yourself too thin is a surefire way to dilute your efforts and exhaust yourself. Instead, focus on doing a few things really well. Master one product or service before expanding. Build a strong presence on one platform before branching out. Serve your first customers with excellence before trying to scale. Growth is good, but only when it's sustainable. Slow and steady wins the race. And let's talk about discipline, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Running a business requires a level of discipline that most people aren't used to. It means sticking to your budget, even when it's tempting to your budget, even when it's tempting to overspend on something shiny and new.
It means showing up to work on your business every day, even when you don't feel like it. It means staying true to your vision, even when the results aren't coming as quickly as you'd hope.
Discipline isn't glamorous, but it's what separates the businesses that thrive from the ones that fizzle out. It's about doing the right things consistently, not just when it's convenient. But staying focused isn't just about hard work. It's also about taking care of yourself. Burnout is real, and it's one of the biggest threats to entrepreneurs. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't build a successful business if you're running on fumes. Make time to rest, recharge, and reconnect with the people and activities that bring you joy. Remember why you started this business in the first place. Was it to create freedom? to spend more time with your family, to pursue something you're passionate about. Don't let the grind steal those things from you. Staying focused means staying healthy physically, mentally, and emotionally.
And finally, keep the bigger picture in mind. Building a business is about more than just making money. It's about creating something that makes a difference. It's about serving your customers, providing value, and leaving a legacy.
Every decision you make, every step you take should align with that purpose. When you stay rooted in your why, it becomes easier to push through the challenges, stay consistent, and keep moving forward.
Your why is your anchor, your guiding light, and your fuel for the journey ahead.
So let me leave you with this. Success in business isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up, staying focused, and playing the long game. There will be ups and downs, wins and losses. But if you stay the course, keep learning, and refuse to give up, you'll build something that lasts. You'll look back years from now and see how every small step, every hard decision, every moment of doubt brought you closer to your goals. This is your journey. Own it, embrace it, and keep moving forward. The best is yet to come. Let's get to work.